All love stories about young heroes who dropped out of school, founded their company in an old garage and later became real billionaires, but often stories about their incredible success are too flavored unreliable. This also applies to the richest people in the world, including Jeff Bezos, Bill Gates, Warren Buffett and Mark Zuckerberg, are politely silent about how exactly they managed to lay the foundations of their business empire. But they reminded us of this once again in the summer of 2020 year. The American blogger Adam Smith, in his Twitter account. And so it all began in the summer of 2020 when Aiden saw in another Twitter post about how 1994, Jeff Bezos founded Amazon. In his garage entry published a famous TV presenter John Ehrlichman in the response to this post and decided to clarify, remind me about the family of Jeff Bezos actually, and Dad gave him number 245,573 of the dollar to prevent bankruptcy Amazon in 1995. But you'll never know it. Acme will say what they need and to blame the poor for personal failures and the rich ascribe a special virtue. So what is behind the wealth and fame of some famous people? This is what today's video business was only the first in the list. Aiden, after he recalled the important fact from the history of Microsoft Bill Gates in his Twitter, he said, for this reason you can find this history almost every story. Billionaire Bill Gates, usually it is told as if he was an ordinary guy who dropped out of college to fulfill his dream. But in fact his mom Mario Games as the President United Way, it was she who convinced IBM to hire Microsoft to create an operating system. Gates is a talented man, but his career would not have happened if he had not been the son of wealthy parents with good connections who were able to convince the exchange for her then little-known Microsoft to create an operating system sooner. He would not have become a billionaire if I was born in the family of the working class. Also applies to Warren Buffett, one of the world's largest investors. Usual again, the Crow. Buffett tells about the scruffy upstart who lived in a suburban house for the middle class in Omaha and was able to invest. In fact, his father was a congressman and managers of the company. Then in high school, Warren Buffett began to invest in his father's business. The help of the parents also gave an impressive push. Mark Zuckerberg. Even if you are born in the family mega, it's hard to overestimate the kind of support the children of the rich receive, even indirectly. Mark Zuckerberg's rich parents sent him to Phillips Academy in Exeter. The tuition fee is almost $57,000, and then asked software developer Davida Newman to give him private computer science lessons even before he entered college. Zuckerberg is already mentioned as a smart person, but if he was born into a family working class, he would not have such opportunities, as people from the very beginning showed interest in Zuckerberg because he had already entered college for computer geeks. That again would happen if his parents hired a well-known software developer for his training. The benefits of having a rich parents, even if they don't give you $250,000 as it did without. Never underestimate it. Fair rules game. After blogger Aiden this data is published, tweets steal viral since many users was very surprised at these facts from the biography of the richest people in the world. No one, they are not self-made from scratch at the start. All of them received financial support, billion, without which they could not. To be opinion on the morality of these, the facts were divided among the users. Thought flavored history about billionaires rose. Only give yourself false hope. The scarecrow financial software for others. Such tales become a source of motivation and commitment no matter what they implausible. But back to Mr. Bill Gates, because today it plays a role in the international arena. And so Bill Gates, born the 28th of October in 1955, he and his two sisters grew up in Seattle and want William Bates' two-lawyer mother. Mr. Killer Mary Kate was a schoolteacher. A baby was born in the family of a modest lawyer and a schoolteacher. Studied and worked a lot. Thanks to his genius he became the richest man on planet Earth, transforming the world. But this is a fairy tale for simpletons. What was it really like? Bill Gates or William Henry Gates II? And it already sounds, isn't it? Born on October 28, 1955, is not a simple family, and family with rich traditions in the field of business policy and a service family. Gertsev use more weight and authority. Seth Day throughout the state of Washington. Great-grandfather was a member of the Parliament of the state and the mayor of Seattle's maternal grandfather and vice president of the National Bank USA. Father William Henry Gates II is famous and very wealthy lawyer, and mother Mary Maxwell Gates, the first woman a member of the board of directors. Interstate Doncarb was a member of the board of directors of Pacific Northwest was UST Incorporated and Kira TV in Seattle. Also president of the national board of United World International. Not bad for a simple high school teacher. Isn't it about 11 years? Bella has been gently speaking. Unruly child performance does not match hypothetical talent. Kid, he doesn't ever occur to you to follow the example. A model older sister. Christy is not even helped. Trouble-free, proven many generations method of financial went. The cost of a brother and sister could only 25 cents each. A positive assessment of the current situation did not suit in any way. Dear everything for the game's family, who were proud of their traditions and roots, even had to see a psychiatrist when Gates was 13 years old, and the parents are deciding to attach the son of a circle elected transferred him to a private preferred school Lakeside in 1968. The administration of this Seattle school Lakeside decided to acquaint students with new technology as the language of computers. Price the computer at that time were not included in the school budget, so the school decided to rent computer time. A computer belonging to some corporation with the help of a teletype could be contacted by telephone lines to fulfill this plan. The school director appealed to the parent committee with a request to get money to buy a teletype and help pay for the time. The committee's cash register had to be lightened by $3,000 so that in each class schools could learn to use a nearby PD-10 mini computer owned by General Electric. Gates' first venture was founded with Paul Allen back in 1972. The company was called Fine Data and there were only 2 employees in it, Paul Allen and Bill Gates. Within the framework of this office for the municipality of Sedla, as we guess, there were no problems with receiving an order. A traffic control program was written for a microprocessor-based system. Intel 8008 type date earned on this $20,000, but the business did not go further and the shop was closed in 1973. Gates graduated from school exploring family traditions and entered Harvard to study for a lawyer. In July 1975 in Albuquerque, New Mexico, there was a partnership called Microsoft Microcomputer Soft via software for microcomputers. On November 26, 1976, the company was registered Microsoft as we know it today. At the end of 1976, a dispute arose between Microsoft and the successor of the media company with the Peck Company over the basic Gates software. Without hesitation turned to his father for recommendations on this matter. William Henry Jr. was happy to help. He himself gave some wise "We all love Soviets" assured Bell that his company would win the case and found him in Albuquerque a capable lawyer to represent Microsoft's interests. The process lasted 6 months and in the end, an arbitrator was appointed to resolve the issue, which was good news and meant that the usual legal process could take several years to end. Soon in December 1977, Microsoft Volodello arbitrator very harshly treated Petrenko and will give Roberts. He called the situation an extreme case of commercial piracy and ruled that MIDIS has the right to use BASIC and Microsoft has the right to sell it at its discretion. As Steve Wood claims, after 1977 Microsoft has never had financial problems, and this despite the fact that the first 5 customers at Microsoft went bankrupt. And in 1979, Bill Gates and Paul Allen returned from college that year. Bill Gates was expelled from the university for absenteeism and academic failure. YouTube enters the case of the mother of our young genius. She was the chairman of the executive committee in United World International together with 2 very influential leaders of the IBM computer market monster, John Opel and John Hawkins. John Opel president of the company in 1981, then John president of the company since 1985, they decided to help the boy to rise up and at the same time earn money themselves. An unknown company, Microsoft, received an offer to move away from the giant IBM to develop an operating system for the first personal computer. Of course, as in the case of the BASIC, Gates did not develop his operating system. He just bought for $50,000. The Kudos system was created by Tim Personas and considered computer products, changed its name to Mac.mos and sold a license to use IBM. Ask Microsoft to keep the copyright and IBM agreed. Surprisingly, however, she bought a license for MC-DOSes and made unusual for that time an agreement in which Microsoft remains with the owner IBM Systems and pay them every time sell computer running Mac.mos. Thus was born the concept of the patented software. Though the usual practice was to give it away for free as themselves the computer was very expensive and the additional costs were undesirable. Where the DOSes became then Windows 10,311. This operating system was developed in Microsoft, although the ideas were taken from Apple. In 1986 year, Microsoft shares for the first time came to the stock exchange and Bill Gates became overnight a fabulous rich man. Well, where's the money here? Bill Gates, who would he be without Dad's connections among lawyers and Mom in business among sharks, and where is a simple guy in quotes who has achieved everything by himself and exclusively with his brains? He simply does not exist. This is fiction. Friends, be sure to put your comments under the video. Thumbs up if you liked it, share it with your like-minded people, and of course subscribe to the channel if you haven't done it yet. Commitment. No